This week's episode is brought to you by Tabletop Backer Party on Facebook, which is the largest board game crowdfunding group on this side of the internet.
Featured this week with our sponsor,
we have HEL, the Last Saga by Mythic Games, which leads 2 to 4 Vikings into a horrific tale where they must search for clues for their colony's disappearance for about 90 minutes, as players will be triggering unique narrative-based events from clues they find along the way, acquiring lost heroes through adventure choices, all while being careful not to fall into an ambush, as enemies can target the most vulnerable of members, challenging players to explore the realm at their own risk.
Hello, fellow gamers. Welcome to I'd Back That Kickstarter with Gloryhoundd and
DrGloryhogg.
What are you laughing about this time? It's like every time we switch over, you gotta be smiling at me all crazy like.
Because.
Because?
Yeah, just because. Because I know you're waiting for me to do like the really slow
The slow Dr. Gloryhogg.
So I don't do it, and then I start laughing about it.
Hello, everybody in chat.
Thanks
we were
for
having,
joining us.
yeah, absolutely. We were having some issues earlier today, and we were unable to carry forth the Kickstarter show for you. So we are coming back this evening. We have Nathan in chat and Mepper, who actually managed to catch the show live. Hello.
So maybe it worked out better for some people.
That's probably true.
I know I'm full of Chipotle, so I don't know if that's going to make it better or worse. We'll find out. But work's done for the week.
Since you're full of Chipotle, that means that you will be more free to get Kickstarters this week because you won't feel the need to spend your money on Chipotle.
I can tell you there's one on here that I want, and you're not going to be happy about it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we also have Games of Fire in chat as well. How are you doing? So, I think let's just get started.
Let's talk about them. Kickstarters.
Yeah. We'll see if all my stuff pulls up correctly. I may need to reset one setting, all right? Let's see. Okay.
Boom.
Ta-da! It all works. Hello, Battle Cry. I'm so excited. Oh, my goodness.
Nathan just rolled up riding on one of Dr. Gloryhogg's super premium deluxe luxury stagecoaches with comfortable seating.
They're quality to the premium, most
and a holographic
quality.
There was also a holographic emitter on it too, so like you're not only riding by yourself, you're riding with Einstein or Beethoven or whoever else. No judgment. Whoever else you want a hologram in there.
It was really unfair to make me compete against that, Dr. Gloryhogg.
Well, you should
unfair.
never come to a Western game with a ray gun. That was your own fault. That was your own fault. You should never have done that. That was your own fault.
All right, let's see here. There we go. Working on the buttons today.
Choo-choo.
Today we have Railroad Ink Challenge. This is by Horrible Guild, no longer Come On Games, and this is for 1 to 4 players. It's like Railroad Ink in the fact that you're doing the same sort of thing. You're building little routes with little roads and little railroads across the board, and you're trying to connect exits, except in Railroad Ink Challenge, like it ups its game. It is crazy, Dr. Gloryhogg. They have these little portions of the map here that do certain things throughout the game. So you have like, I don't know, I think they're like little universities and like little, not residential areas. I can't remember the names of them, but there's 3 different types of areas that if you draw your route through there, then you're going to get upgrades with that. They have, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 expansions with this that comes with it.
A lot.
Well, not that comes with it, but plenty that you can get. There's also goal cards that are coming with this, which is fantastic because those are going to change the way that you game just in general, because you're going to also have goals that are associated with it. There's also a solo game. I swear, looking at this particular Kickstarter, just going down, it was like hype, and then like I get like, okay, calm down. And then I get the next thing, I'm like, oh my god, more hype. Like, this literally was a giant hype train for me. So, Dr. Gloryhogg, what do you think? Hello, Fatal Paper Cut.
You good?
No, I'm gonna talk like so much more about this game. Okay.
She has lost it. So there's 3 different types of buildings on there. So there's residential, there's commercial, and then there's just a comic shop / coffee bar / game place.
That's not how it is. That's what they are. That's not what they're listed at.
So here's the deal. I'm not a huge fan of roll and writes. We've played Railroad Ink a lot. I've kind of opened up to the idea of roll and writes a little bit more since we initially first got like this one years ago. what I like about this one is Railroad Rink was very simple. It was just roll the dice, put them down, that's it. With this one now, it's when you're rolling the dice, not only are the dice different, there's also different residential areas or different buildings that if you collect will let you do different things, which kind of can really vary how the game is played. Plus, there's goals. There's shared goals that you're trying to compete for to get first, kind of like in Welcome to or Welcome to Dino World also has shared goals that you're competing for. And so that makes a big difference. That really kind of ups the complication of it, but like in a good way.
They took this abstract sort of like roll and write. Yeah, roll and write. Very simple roll and write. Where it's more about strategic placement and stuff. And
Your
they
favorite
made
word, strategic.
They made it into this insanely like gamer, like hardcore roll and write is what they did.
Hi, Gabe. Gabe says hi.
Oh, hello, Gabe.
Yeah, so they took it from like it was still complex enough, but you were really good at it because you're really good at planning out your routes and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I would always lose, like always, by like 5 points somehow. I'd always just barely lose. But now they added all this extra stuff, and I think this will actually work to my advantage because whenever there's goals and then like the builds let you do different things, it starts kind of doing like just different things. I think that's when I can actually take over and win.
That's because I try to map out like too much of my stuff ahead of time.
Yeah, you got way too far ahead of time.
And then you get them like faster than I get it, okay?
Nice.
Petter says, oh, this stream looks less like a roll and write, more like a draw and draw. A draw and draw, no.
Well, draw and draw is
when you draw cards and then you draw stuff down.
Which that's
This one is a roll and well, it's still like a roll and
we
write,
literally
like
have
a roll and draw.
Deadly Doodles.
Yeah, Deadly Doodles.
There we
yeah,
go. I couldn't think of it.
Absolutely.
I kept thinking of M words for some reason. I was like Mighty Meeples, but no, it's Deadly Doodles.
The biggest, okay, so I was excited about the Lush Green expansion here, which you get 2 forest dice, and this is one expansion this game. So you get the new boards, which have these extra sort of stuff along the back portions here, okay, that you're going to be able to tick off. And you also have new dice with these because the dice are not compatible with the original game.
Right, they have different routes on them. So it's not just like a cross or a bend. It's like they've got like 2 routes that'll go kind of like that instead.
Right.
So it makes it so you have a lot more complex like buildings that you can do, I guess, or complex routes.
For $20, you have one of these expansions that you can get that gives you one expansion. So you can get the Lush Green expansion. It's going to give you gold cards. It's going to give you new dice to play with. It's going to give you these little forest dice as an expansion, so you can play this as a regular game and an expansion game.
Which, you know what I just thought of? Because the first ones that came out, that was like Horrible Guild, but then like Come On had the licensing for it or whatever. Right. It came with 2 extra sets of dice because each set of dice was an expansion. So it was 2 expansion in each one. So 2 boxes was 4 expansions. This one only has 1 expansion per box. For each one, right. Yeah. And then it did say that if you go with like the desert dice, you'll also get like different gold cards for that too. They get mixed in.
Dr. Gloryhogg, this one has a Western theme to it, okay? You're going to have little cacti and stuff that you get to draw on here, okay?
Your saguaro. A saguaro is a fancy tree.
You know, those are protected, okay?
They are protected.
Up the one of the original through my friendly local game store.
Yeah.
If you
really like it.
Yeah, if you like roll and writes, absolutely. It's one of the better roll and writes that I've ever played. I think it's my favorite roll and write that I've played.
One of your top 3?
It is.
For me, Fleet, the dice game, is definitely the best.
Hello, Alan. Gloryhoundd, I'm not that big into roll and writes, but probably the best one I have is Kokora.
Avenue of the Kodamas.
Ooh, oh, okay. I have not played that one.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to
check
that one out. So with the Shining Yellow edition here, you do get the new boards with it. You get gold cards. You get the new dice with it. And then you also get 1 more expansion. But that's a different price, okay? So the 2 together, you're looking at, over that $40 price there. Right around that $40. Maybe it was $38.
Which isn't bad. If you're paying $20 for a game, that's not bad at all. Which is about what I expected this game to be at. About $25, $30 at the most.
This game gets out of control.
With the stretch goals.
Out of control with the stretch goals. I never thought I'd be paying close to $80 for a roll and write game, everyone.
I would like to say that I never wanted to spend close to $80 for a roll and write game because it's one of my least favorite mechanisms.
But
look
at all these expansions. Oh my God. Look at all these expansions. I'm so excited about these, everyone. So these ones weren't even available to look at on Tuesday. So I haven't even seen these ones, which is Pluck-A-Man and the Tetrino.
Yeah, so Pluck-Man. If it's like, so it looks like Pac-Man.
Right.
And then Tetris.
all of this together, I'm going to scroll down.
Now, the $80 is for these 2 roll-in rights plus all the expansions,
we'll
right?
go through it. We'll go through it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep going then.
because it's not
There's so
just
much
the
more.
expansions. There's like a big game box and like all sorts of stuff. Okay, so if you get just the 2 base games, I think you can get 2 base games plus the solo expansion. They have these giant boards that open up and stuff. Let's scroll down to them. Let's get down here.
Yeah, the big thing is if you go all in, right? The $80 is all in, correct?
Yeah, in that $80.
You're getting
bracket.
a giant
Let's
collector's
see.
box, which will hold red and blue game also, plus this green and yellow, and like the purple one,
So
which I'm not sure what the purple one is. And then you get like the big game boards, and then all the like, other little dice expansions too.
the basic was 20, which you get the solo board, you get the teleportation dice, which is really cool idea for an expansion.
Yeah, it's a
and
whole
then you get
different
one
thing.
of the copies. The second one is, I can't read it because it's really small on my screen, but you know, you're at that $40-ish mark there.
Well, I think that's when you get both of the new ones.
Yeah, and you get 2 of the new ones, but then it just gets like out of control. It starts getting out of control after
Right.
this.
Urban
Okay.
Planner, you start getting more stuff. But I know that we already backed this one.
This one
Because we
gives
had this discussion, and you said, "Wow, how is this game almost $100?"
everyone. I
And
was gonna
cried.
like knock somebody out. Like I specifically like unbacked something just to back this because this is one of my favorites. It's one
So
of
the
my
red and blue have
favorites.
been hard to find. We got them. Well, to be fair, we got them directly from Come On.
Yeah, we
so
got them directly from them, so
I
we
did
didn't
notice
have
that
that
they were-
issue. But
yeah.
yes, they were hard to find. I don't know if they still are. Now
There was wasn't there was a different 2 other different colored ones that were overseas, because I know I was trying to hunt those ones down for you.
no, those were a different thing. Those were a different.
Oh,
thing.
they were a different
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
They were not an entity thing that got printed or anything.
Oh, okay. But the big thing about this is that it's not the route dice are not compatible back and forth. But this big game box lets you hold the red, the blue, the
Yeah,
yellow,
we'll go
the
down
green,
here. Okay,
all
there we
that.
go. So
All the stuff. Now, what is that purple box? Is that just going to be like expansion dice? you
that
think?
is going to hold all of your expansions in it. So that gives you the ability to have like all your special expansion stuff inside. So looking at the top games on our list, On Tour would be the one I like the best. Oh yeah,
I agree with Petter. 37
recently did
seems
that.
just right if you're trying to get like into some new rolling rights. I think that's
I think
fine.
so.
But
I think
I know that we're going to go all in on it because
how big
you
is
are-
that big box? It's
Yeah.
real big. It's real big.
She's got the real big dumb eyes for this thing. She's like, what?
I am so into this because I want
Yeah.
these right here. I want the future expansion. I want the electricity expansion. I want the sky expansion. I want the engineer expansion.
I'm at a point where I'm like,
want
how
the
much can we
Pac-Man
play the
expansion.
same game?
I want
But
the Tetramino expansion. I want the solo expansion. There's going to be so many.
this
there's-
reminds me of when we got all the different expansions for Welcome To, and we sat down one night and we played. You know,
All
we
of
played
them?
right. We played the
All of them together?
undead one, then we played the ghost one, then we played the summer one, and but then like we haven't gone back and played those ones again.
Oh, Petter,
So it was
that,
a one-time deal.
that would be
Hey,
excellent.
one-time deal. Explain to me why it was a one-time
no,
deal.
No, I'm not listening to you, Dr. Glory.
I want all these things so I can play it one time and then never again.
Ellen says that's me. The engineer in Sky. I know, right?
Oh, that's true.
Like, and these expansions,
and I'm electricity in the future.
they
No, okay, I'm not.
do look amazing. Like, it's
They
nice to
change
be
it a
able,
lot.
but it's nice to be able to teach somebody, like the Welcome To portion, to be able to teach somebody one game and then go, okay, let's do it this way. Okay, now let's do it this way. Okay,
Except
now
this
let's
one will
do
be
it that
like,
way.
let's do it this way like 15 times. It is like Pokemon, like, you know, all 101
Gotta
like original.
collect them all, Poke.
It's gonna be like 100 different versions of this game. Like, all right, cool. Now let's do this. Now let's do this.
I am so
Oh.
okay with that.
What do you
I'm
mean no
so
time?
okay.
How can I still not get a time machine, Alan? You're such a bully.
I'm so excited about this game.
The cool thing
okay?
about this box is if you buy a Lazy Susan, it'll spin.
This game box, okay. This also includes giant game boards in it for this particular game, which you can see unfolding right here,
I like
which is also a lot.
I was gonna say I like that this one has more like having to actually pay attention to what you're doing, because normally it was like this, right? I'm down over here writing my stuff and I'm not looking
There's
at her
more
at all.
player interaction going on.
Well, yeah,
because
because if there's shared goals, I kind of look to see what you're going for and be like, ooh, she's already going for that goal. Maybe I'll go for a different one instead.
Here's the only thing is I think that this particular expansion of Railroad Ink Challenge is going to kill the original red and blue boxes. Like you might want those for like their expansion dice or something like that, but in the end,
You'll probably be
having
playing
all
these
the
more.
extra, having these extra boards where you have different things that you can do on them, they're more gamery and stuff. Like it would be nice to have the old ones in order to teach people how to play the original and then branch them into this, because this one's more complicated with you have what is it, the villages on the board
Right,
and
you got
everything.
like
We
the
scrolled past
3
it.
different types of buildings, plus then you've got shared goals.
Shared
so that,
goals.
It gives you other things to compete for other than just trying to build the longest railroad or
Plus
the
you have
longest roadway.
more technical dice going on and stuff with it. Like, there's just so much more going on in this one, okay? So Alan says, let me put it this way.
Oh,
How
that's
often
true.
does Gloryhound cover expansion?
Hey, wait a minute. This shouldn't even have been on the list.
This
No,
is
it's
a
not.
standalone.
It
It's
is
a standalone, Alan.
I think going forward, though, they're going to stick with this challenge because you think about Railroad Inc. came out earlier, kind of at the beginning of Roll and Rights. And now that they've been kind of like everyone's been doing Roll and Rights like the last 2 years, now they're like, okay, we need shared goals. We need
Absolutely.
extra objectives on it's universities, villages, and factories. That's what I said.
John C. says, I think if this had come out 6 months ago, I would have probably backed it, but right now it's just too steep.
Yeah, if you're going to go all in, it is pretty. But if you're going for just one, it's like $20. So then it's not so bad.
Oh, okay. So Nathan says, I was putting aside money for a June Kickstarter, but I'm probably going to give in to the cult of the now and buy something I can play soon. That's understandable. That's understandable, Nathan.
I feel that.
I was too psyched about this one, everyone. I can't even express to you how panicky I was just looking at this.
If I was going to play
bad.
one, I agree with you. If I was going to play one of these, I'd rather play one of these.
You'd rather play this one because there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more player interaction. You have more interesting routes happening with your dice and everything.
Well, it feels like it gets to kind of like that welcome to level where it's still easy enough to understand. But, like, if I do this thing, it's going to cause this to happen.
Right.
There's, like, some more triggered events other than
you're going to
just
be able to
trying to
roll.
wind around stuff.
Exactly. You're going to be able to trigger probably several events going through, especially if you build off of your villages and factories and universities.
Right, because some of them, like, let you take, like, an extra route and like, different things like that.
Right. And you're going to be able to do all sorts of cool stuff in this. And like I said, these are more gamery.
Which, technically, that'll make it so that with that included expansion, that'll allow you to kind of do... our boards will be drastically different. Like, they were already pretty different, but sometimes it'd be like, okay, well, you were kind of started up here and you built out this way, and I started here and I built up this way. But if you've got different buildings that are doing different things, like, I could have more track down than you. Like, it won't just be the exact same dice, exact same ways, like that.
So Ellen says, see, if they didn't do it this way, I would get one of the red and blue and not worry about it. But it looks like they're trying to mix and match them. Does everyone else have a favorite roll and write?
If you don't have red and blue, I'd probably just get this one. Because it's going to be it's going to have more to it. Unless you're trying to go for a more, like, kind of simpler roll and write, like, which is a real kind of a big, which it was fun, but
I was going to say, it's not a simple roll and write to begin with, though, because that's spatial awareness for just Railroad Inc. in general.
Well, it's like comparing the two is so hard, though, because...
It's simple to learn, but it's very strategic in placement, you know? Whereas this one here is probably going to be a little bit harder to learn for newer players.
Well, there's just more things to track.
Way more depth into it because of the being able to score things differently and take goals from people and stuff like that. Like, there's going to be so much more going on.
My advice is, if you don't already have it, pick up one of this new one of the challenge. Either get the green or the yellow.
Because
see if you like it, because it's like $20.
$20.
If you think you're going to like it, get both. If you already have the red and blue, you might as well give it stupid and do the big thing. It's one of her favorite roll on rights, right? It's got to be in her top 3.
Excited.
So, like, although I wouldn't personally do the big one, I'm pretty sure we're going to do the big one just because. Kat, you going to take my mic with you?
This is the roll and write that I started playing solo games with. So this is when I started playing solo games. And
I was so happy when you were doing that, because then I didn't have to play it. Because this is one of the few games you wore me out on, where you were like, you wanted to play it like 4 times in a row, and then like a couple hours later, like, you want to play again? I'm like, no,
I straight up
don't.
posted pictures, I think, on my Instagram of how I went through the dice, and then people could play along with me and everything, because I was so into this game. I was so excited about playing this. So, not the big box, says Alan. Those glorious expansions? No, I'm going all in, Alan.
Yeah,
Alan,
she's going in.
Just scroll down to the most expensive one, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm getting, okay?
What I'm stating is, if you don't already have red and blue, just pick up the regular games. I think that's probably fine for most people. Since you're already a super fan, you're going to go all in.
I am a super fan. Yeah, because this one here, like, look at all this stuff it comes with. Like, oh, my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Aw, Alan has Doug right next to him tonight. How sweet.
All I have to do is just put this pencil out, and the cat will rub her face against it violently.
If you guys haven't played Railroading, totally try it. If you guys are if everyone's having issues finding the red and blue editions, like I said, wow. Like Dr. Gloryhogg said,
wow.
Go ahead and try to pick up one of them for $20. This game is well worth $20.
She's
I have so much
literally
fun with it.
speechless, but not. She's just really tough.
I told you, I'm
actually.
so hyped about this
I know.
game.
You
Like,
have the
I'm just gonna.
Is this what
I'm
I sound
gonna-
like when we talk about like dice throwing and
Oh
stuff?
my gosh, yes. Like, the intent. I can't even express my intensity right now.
'Cause you're not doing it right.
I just want to reach through this screen and take it. I just want this game so bad. So, bravo to Horrible Guild Games by upping their ante in this and not just putting out some regular expansions, but improving this to like a huge next level gamer game. Like, I'm very, very impressed with this. They did an excellent job.
Yeah, I can understand why you'd want to get the big box. But see, the only thing about this big box is what if they come out with another one after this? We're done. Like, we're not getting more. Because if we have a fancy box that
says
fits them all,
Dr. Gloryhogg.
that's it, we're done. I always think about that whenever they do big boxes and stuff. You're just like, you're done, right?
Sure, Dr. Gloryhogg.
I have a feeling we're going to be completely different on this one. I would buy a copy of Railroad Ink, though. If you were going to ask me if I'd back it, I'd back one.
All right, next up we have Blinks, the game system by Move 38. This is such a cool little game. I actually picked this up at
It was at
PAX.
PAX.
Their
Mhm.
original box of this, and they're actually little hexes here, and each one of them stores the memory of a certain type of game, okay? And you press it, and then you put them all down, and so they click all together, and then that one teaches all the other Blinks what game you're playing, and then you play the game what you have here. And the games are pretty different.
Yeah.
They are community-made games, which I think is really, really
Well,
cool. Because
so for this one, they've got, the first one had 6 games made by the creators. Then it's got another 6 games that they did as expansion. Then there's 6 that are just creator-made ones. So there's a total of 18 games available
both
if you were to buy all of
expansions
them.
were community-made games.
No, I thought they said one of them was there. I thought, well, I
The
could be wrong.
original could be.
I thought that one specifically says community, and the other one just says expansion.
Right.
When you
So
look at 'em?
there's 3 of them. There's 3 boxes. There's the first box,
original,
which
the
is the
expansion.
original, which could be their games that they went ahead and produced.
Right.
Then for the expansion, they outsourced the programming and all the stuff that
Oh.
they needed for the community to make games with this. And then they went ahead and went to the people who made the best games in the community, and they took those games and were like, hey, can we go ahead and publish these for the system and everything,
That is
right?
very tricky wording then, because if you tell me something's the original, the expansion, and then community made, I'm going to think, created by the company,
think
created by the
that
company, community.
Expansions are community made.
Right, but why is one expansion and one's, it's semantics, but one's called an expansion, just says expansion, and the other one says community made. So only one of them says
Oh my
community
goodness.
made. So it
Oh
makes
my
me
goodness.
feel like that.
Okay, so I feel like this is such a gimmick, says Alan, and expensive.
It definitely
expensive.
gets much better if you have more, because we have the base set. So there's some games that just you can't really do with
Well,
just
hold on.
6.
Okay, so Nathan says ambitious. Alan says this is one where the experience seems limiting unless you get very expensive mini Blinks package. Games of Fire says so true. Okay, we have the base game of this. It comes with, I think, like 6 Blinks, right?
Yes.
So 6 different games on it. One of those games was not playable because you needed more than 6 Blinks for. So you had 5 games in the base package, okay? In the base package, we had a puzzle style game.
Right,
We
because
had
they're magnetic, and you had to flip them around until all the different lit
All the
sides
lights-
matched up.
all the lights would flash different, like a different color or different sides of it, and you'd have to match up the puzzle pieces, which was fun. I enjoyed it.
It took a little
okay?
bit of time.
It did. It did take a little bit of time. We had one on here that was, I think it was Mortals, where like it was really interesting because it was like zombies were coming to
Yeah,
attack
and you're
you.
racing.
So you were racing to like take the life of other people. So you were taking a blink off and then like trying to place it to like injure the other player to take their life and stuff. And then all the while, like the time is ticking, and then all of a sudden, like they would start lighting up green, and it was like racing the board while also fighting the other people that were out there. Okay, which again, it's a 2-player game, but you can add more blinks to that, and it becomes bigger and
Right.
more expansive with it. Okay, there was a bomb style game which
Where it would click around
would
and you
go
had to try to
around,
stop it.
and then you'd have to press it. So it was okay, and it didn't explode on anything. And if you pressed it at the wrong time, it would explode, and it would go faster and faster the more times that you went ahead and like did it. And there was one other one. I'm trying to remember what the other one was.
I don't remember at this point.
Surprisingly, I played this for I don't even know how many hours I played with this, and our kid played with it for over 4 hours once we got it. Like just straight up, just like, here you go, child. And they went off and played for 4 hours. And I was like, holy crap. Like, what other thing do you play with for 4 hours by themselves? by themselves.
Wow.
These are surprisingly addictive, like super surprisingly addictive. And I'm excited to see where they go with more of like the strategic games with this. Because it can be, I feel like it can be very borderline, like they're trying to aim for 3 different groups. They're trying to aim for party games, they're trying to aim for strategic games, and then they're like trying to aim for like sit down and like their puzzle game, you know, where it's like a solo sit down and kind of like, I don't know, puzzle something out, you know? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
What did you think, Dr. Gloryhogg?
So I played every one of these games at least 2 or 3 times. It is 100% a thing. I don't hate it. I like the, I always like the idea. I kind of would agree with Petter. It was kind of gimmicky for me. It reminded me of playing like Simon, where the lights would go around and you try to memorize it and click them. Like that type of a game, or like some kind of like little handheld like video poker games. It felt kind of like that to me, where it was it felt for me kid-based. Like doing the little puzzle stuff, I'd rather just do a jigsaw puzzle. When it was doing like the time racing game, like there was some tension. Like my kid was super into it. She was standing over it and she was super into it. And I was just doing this. Hey, I didn't blow up. Hey, I didn't blow up. It reminds me of that game that you play in the arcade where the thing spins around and you try to stop it in order to capture it on a ticket point, and then you get a bunch of tickets if you do it. Like, so it's fine if you like it. I don't know. Like, it's not for me personally. It was 100% something I did to play with the family, not something I would do on my own.
Well, fine. You don't get to play with us anymore, Dr. Gloryhogg.
Hey, I'm just giving my opinion. I think there's things I would rather do with my money than this.
Petter says all of a sudden the big box railroad ink is kind of cheap now.
Yeah, like I said, it was fun and I liked the idea of it, but it just blinking lights to me and these little magnetic pucks didn't offer enough for me to really get super into it. And that could just be an aesthetic thing. I don't know.
This is a game that is going to play well when you want to get new players to your tables, okay? When you are playing with family members, when you are playing with new gamers. This is, I believe they're in more of that level of game.
Yeah, I feel like it's a party gamey type thing almost, where you would bring with you or something.
They're exciting to play. Like, you get that excitement while you're playing them, except for Dr. Gloryhogg, who apparently doesn't have an excitement heart in his bones.
No excite.
Like, no excite. No excite.
I 100% played it.
I really enjoyed these, though. I was going into them, I remember I think we talked about the original one of these.
No, because it was on Kickstarter. We saw it at PAX.
I remember seeing them.
We saw it at PAX.
And I kind of like poo-pooed on them originally.
I'll tell you where we saw them if you want to let me finish. We saw it at PAX in the indie
oh, that's right.
Indie game area. Indie Game Alliance or something like that, right? And it was downstairs. We saw it that very first PAX we went to in Seattle.
Okay.
So it must have been PAX West.
Our kid is like over the moon for this. Like there is not many other things that our kid plays for so many hours. I'm like, I just want my mouse to work. Here we go.
Listen, I think it's fine. But yeah, it's just fine.
It's just fine. Dr. Gloryhogg does not approve. There we go. Okay. I enjoyed it a lot.
The aesthetic is like an anesthetic.
I'm just saying they were surprisingly addictive, and there's some of these games here that I would definitely be interested in playing. What I really wish, though, is that they had offered these in maybe individual packs, because I would have paid for like the particular individual packs.
The game that you actually were interested in instead of them. And especially with groups of 6, there might be like only 2 games you want out of it. It's like that's why we don't buy CDs anymore, because I don't want to spend $15 to get one song I like. I want to get that one song for $2.
I would have definitely paid. What is it like? You're gonna pay probably like $10, $15 for one Blink. I would have paid $10 to $15 for one Blink to get the games I wanted and get like this particular set of games that I just really wanted to play.
These are all just like really fast-paced games that have to deal with lights. So, can colorblind people even play these? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Because just be like
they don't have
all
any.
Lights.
Yeah, they don't have any sort of
anything else with them.
Other look
just the
to
lights.
them with these. Yeah. I was happy with it though. But
hang on the wall. Yeah, I mean, if you just put these on the wall, that looks like a flux capacitor right there.
The biggest thing for me though
Time
is
travel.
In the new set, I think there was only one that I really was interested in. I think it was this raid one.
That was the one that looked like an area control-y type thing.
Yeah, because I'm interested in all the area control and puzzling ones. Like, I'm down for that. And with the base set, there was more of like that sort of stuff in it. Because Mortals was, and like the puzzling game was really fun, and the bomb one I could probably do without, but yeah, I'm more down for like those sort of games, you know?
That's fine. I get that. I'm all for adding like electronics into games if it makes sense. For me, this is too far on the electronic side. It doesn't feel
Pirates
like a board game to me.
And lasers looked really good too. Because this one you're trying to strategically like put them there, and then like the lasers go off, which like takes out certain things, but you're trying to like collect the biggest set here.
Petter's surprised that you're interested in area control. He's never heard that before.
He's never heard. Really?
Are you into? Have you ever played a strategic game?
What?
Oh,
I think it was Barry was the one that we couldn't play or something like that.
Because it wanted you to have more.
Yeah,
because
we wanted to have a little bit more.
It's one of those things. I don't know. I personally couldn't recommend it, but it depends on your group. Like if you're looking to get it for kids, I could definitely see it being more appealing.
Well, and it might be more appealing to people who like puzzle style games as opposed to people who like Ameritrash games, because I am a strategic puzzle logic solving, like I'll sit in my bed and do logic puzzles, so I'm okay sitting down and playing Puzzle 101, whereas you're just not. You're not interested.
Yeah, but like I'll do like a 2,500 puzzle piece one where they're like that big.
A puzzle isn't a logic puzzle. It's like,
well, I know that, but I'm saying this.
different.
But this, hold on. All right, that's a good point. But this is not a logic puzzle. These are lights that you're trying to match up. That's
oh my
not
gosh,
logic.
Dr. Gloryhogg.
A logic puzzle is Amy went to the museum after Sue, but Sue went 3 times before Billy. When did Billy go to the museum?
So,
that kind of stuff.
Ellen, the batteries in this are replaceable. There's a little door on the back that you can go ahead and open up, and you can replace the batteries in.
Yeah, this is too close to Skynet. This is how alien intelligence or artificial intelligence happens.
They're like a watch battery, and if you set them down and they're on, they do automatically turn off after a certain point and everything. And they have a decent longevity for batteries.
They are definitely impressive for what they are. They're just not for me.
And that's fine, but they're for me, and I like them. But I wish they sold them in individual packs, because with this new core set here, I don't feel like there's enough of the ones that I want in it to make it where I want to purchase it. Does that make sense?
Whew, yeah, that just saved me like $90.
There's one in this expansion set though I want the honey one and stuff, and there were a couple of different ones in that expansion set. But like I said, if you're interested and you have especially a bunch of kids at home and stuff like that, this might be a really interesting one to bring to the table to get them interested in games, because it is super addictive once you put it down on the table.
It does kind of teach you the game, because usually the games are pretty much light-based, right? So I mean, like you don't have to read a rule book to figure out how the game works.
The rules are super, super tiny. They come with it's like a 3-panel thing that just has like a description of the game and just like how you're supposed to play it. But
hey, it's 20% off retail, guys. This is your time.
Programming it is super fast, because you just hold it down and then it's ready to program all the other blinks, and you toss it like so all the blinks connect, and it teaches all the other blinks. So, and that's how you would change the game. If I wanted to play a new game, then I'd pick up a new blink that I wanted to play, I'd hold it down, and then I'd put it with all the other blinks, and boom, like all of them would program.
Alternatively, you can pick up Simon at Target for $15.
It's not the same as Simon, Dr. Gloryhogg, okay? Listen, if I want to have a party, if I want to have a party on my table,
messed it up already.
It's gonna be blinks, okay? It's gonna be blinks. It's cute. Whatever, Dr. Gloryhogg. You know what?
I don't know who this is for, but
I'm gonna poo-poo on one of your games later, okay? How about that?
Try. It'd be impossible.
All right, let's see here. Moving on, everyone. Oh, you know what? In chat, why don't you guys tell us if you guys would back either of those games so far? So we have Railroad Ink Challenge
that seemed
and
like that
Blinks.
was good. People looked like they were into Railroad Ink.
I think
different
people
levels.
were. I think people were. Dr. Gloryhogg, I also thought of Simon when I first saw it. How dare you, Games of Fire? You know what? You're off my channel. Off my channel.
It's fair. I have to agree with our audience. The audience is always right.
The audience is
Except for when
correct.
it's Alan.
Oh, no.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness. Somebody's at our door. Do you want to go check the door, Dr. Gloryhogg?
Not really, but I will.
Lovely. This is what live is all about, everyone. This is what live's all about. Should I get started on HEL, or do you want me to wait?
Well.
Okay. HEL scares me because I see the minis and I see hexes, and I'm like, another game with minis and hexes. Nathan says, I'd play someone else's copy of both if they had it. Petter says, Railroad Ink, maybe. Blink is a hard pass, okay? I don't know. I really enjoyed Bling. But again, I do wish they were singular. I really do. You know what? And the manly dog is the scaredest of all. The big boof, that's the scaredest of all dogs, okay? Really big, but really, really scared. I don't know if you guys check out the Dice Tower stuff, but I had them jumping over those game boxes. I think I posted that on my own channel too. And the big boof, that's the big Borker, okay?
Are we allowed to talk about this?
I love the idea of behind blinks, but I'll be passing on it. Ooh.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, after we're done with the show, we'll talk about what you have.
I just got something from Quartermaster Logistics. All you Kickstarter people know what I'm talking about. I just ripped it open. I'm like, what could it be? Let me know if my audio is weird now that I've threw it back on. All right. So, what have you said about HEL so far? Anything?
Nothing. We were just
stalled?
talking. I totally stalled.
That's probably good.
I totally stopped. The big boof is fantastic.
Yeah, they're good
Lots
dogs.
of treats, won't jump for them, right?
I mean, they're supposed to guard. That's their job.
All right, next up we have HEL, the Last Saga. This is for 2 to 4 players. It is, I don't know, it's going to probably last about 60 to 90 minutes.
HEL.
I'm sorry, what?
HEL.
I don't even know why I'm playing this. This shows nothing of the game.
This looks like an awesome video game, though.
It does look like all of
Hey,
their...
Mythics, like, yeah, their videos are like, they make me want to play that video game.
They do make me want to play that video game, but they are not video games, sadly.
How dare you? But, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's a trailer, right? It's trying to get you interested in the game.
Absolutely.
And I'll say this little blurb about, like, what was going on was very interesting.
Why don't you go ahead and talk about the theme?
So, obviously, the theme is Vikings, right? And I think most people are somewhat familiar with Vikings. You've got some gods that are going to be directly meddling in the affairs. You've got a Viking warlord that essentially has this, like, just awe-inspiring dream, right? When he's, like, asleep, and where, you know, there's the deer and all the animals are plentiful, so hunting's good, and the gods walk amongst the brave warriors of his clan and everything. So when he wakes up, he's like, yo, this is real. We're doing this thing. So he gets the map that he has in his mind tattooed on the backs of his warriors, and then they head out. I'm not really sure why you had to put it, like, tattooed on their backs, but, I mean, when you're a Viking,
remembered you're a Viking, and if you can't remember, like, you just look at, you're like, dude, here, right here.
If you could tattoo it, couldn't you write it down? I'm just
You can lose a piece of paper.
You could lose a person. Like, a whole person. You could lose them.
You just cut the skin off their back.
Well, that's true. I was thinking there must be some reason, and there might be some reason why. But essentially, they go off. Now it's been like a year or something, and the rest of the clan is now trying to follow because you've lost contact, obviously, because it's olden times, right? So you're just like, dude, no FaceTime, nothing, no Zoom. So you got to go find them. And so the question is, are you going to find them? Are you going to get lost? If you find them, are they going to be the same as when they left? You know, I don't know. It's very narrative driven. I don't know.
This is a really interesting game because it is like half Seventh Continent with like half Tainted Grail, I feel like. You know, because, well, not even half Tainted Grail, because you have like the hexes and stuff that you're going around to and stuff, but you can find story pieces on all sorts of different stuff. They're saying they're like on the board, sometimes with items and everything. And you get a certain amount of characters that you play with, and you can discover other characters in this. And then one of the bigger things with this is the fact that if you do fail a mission, apparently you're going to have to restart in some really odd way. Like something's going to happen where you can't actually start the same way that you started the first time on that campaign piece.
Right.
You know?
Well, and like you can lose characters and get new characters in the middle and stuff, which the thing that kind of drew me to this is since we played Reichbusters was very much like that. Like in order to get this character, you had to rescue them, right? And you don't necessarily know that going into the storyline. So I'm very curious to see if this kind of follows the same suit where you're just like, you're cruising along, you're doing things that trigger different events, and all of a sudden you're like, you come across somebody and it's like, do you rescue them? Are they good? Are they bad? In different paths.
Take a quick look at our comments here. So Fatal says, I backed Steampunk Rally Fusion and looking forward to Dawn Shade. Petter says, horror Viking campaign, money leaving wallet. Which I totally understand. Let's see here.
Nemesis is coming up.
Nemesis is coming up as well. Mepper says, Perseverance, Castaway Chronicles, Iridia, The Pass We Dare to Tread, and The Seventh Citadel are on Mepper's list of upcoming games here.
That is a
Let's
lot.
see here. The map, minis, tiles, communicates nothing about how it plays. Okay.
That's fair.
That is absolutely fair because
There's a lot of links on there though. They go to, which I know that's not what we're used to on Kickstarter. It goes to their website and gives you more information.
yes. So as far as the actual giving a bunch of information on the Kickstarter, I don't feel like gave enough information on the Kickstarter. But through looking through all these other different avenues and everything, I feel like I have a pretty good take of it. There was another portion of this game which I was interested in. Oh,
There's been 3 gameplay videos on it. There's Let's Play. There's Board Game Spotlight did it, and then of course Dice Tower did it. And it's all done with Sam, and it's done on Tabletopia.
the threat portion of this is really interesting. So when you go ahead and have combat,
Mhm.
your characters can be attacked by either like the weakest member or like the leader of the clan,
Yeah, so
stuff like
it goes a
that.
couple different routes. So it'll say like, like a ranged attacker. Then it'll say like someone with the lowest health. Or then it'll say like someone who has the highest honor. They all have different stipulations, and they trigger in order. So you kind of have to go through them and figure out which way they're going.
I kind of like that because it makes it so no one is safe. Because sometimes in these games you can kind of tweak the rules a little bit.
Yeah,
where
you're like, well, I'll take the hits, and you can't do that with this one.
right, you go ahead and put it up there, and you're like, oh, here, hold on, let me just go ahead and put this person out front, and then they're always going to get attacked, and we're going to heal them, But you can't do that with this, and I really like that portion.
No tank
of it.
and spank. You can't just be like,
No.
I'm the tank. You will fight me.
I feel the play reminded me of a Mansions and Madness
that
and
sounds good
Sword
part.
and Sorcery, but the best parts.
That sounds amazing to me. Thanks, Petter.
Okay, so Ellen says, but what I'm saying is, why would I even go through the playthrough videos when I don't see anything on the campaign that makes me think there's anything other than minis? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Fair. So it is a campaign storyline. It's like 13 songs, I believe, because it's like Viking mythology. So it's like 13 songs. It's part of the saga. And there's like some mystery boxes that are in there. And it seems like the different scenarios are like in separate boxes. So like you kind of open them up as you go. It's like, that's really cool. I like the fact that it's campaign, right? It's 13 campaigns. It's going to take you some hours to get through it. You're going to unlock characters or not unlock them based off of the choices that you make in the game.
Well, it reminds me of Tainted Grail in that fact that it's campaign based and it has like this horror bit behind it, because Tainted Grail was actually very like gory and like chilling when you started going on. It wasn't like a happy like run through a dungeon. This was like, oh my gosh,
Right,
like this is oppressing, like there's this horrible darkness down upon us and everything. And I feel like this will have that same sort of feel to it. Like it's not going to be like, yay, we're going on an adventure, like we're like Gloomhaven, like yay, we're going to go ahead and go trekking through here.
Even Reichbusters was very much like it was gritty but like silly too.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm going to throw a grenade in there. It didn't feel like the Nazis were weird, so you never really felt like, oh god, this is horrible. There was no horror really.
This game is like going to jack you up. Like you're going to be reading through some passages and you're going to be like, this is terrible. I can't believe that happened. Why did we make that choice? Like I feel like there's going to be a lot more of those moments.
Here's the things I like. I like the way the tiles look. I like the overall theme of the game. I mean, I'm in midlife crisis Viking mode right now, right? I'm pro Viking. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm pro Viking. I like the way the tiles worked. I liked that if you've got a guy that's in the forest, you've got to roll dice to kind of scout that person out. And if they're in a forest, you've got to get like 3 hits. But if someone's in clear land, you only need like a 1 hit in order to kind of scout them out. So I like the fact that if there's a monster in the forest, you can potentially just like not scout it because it's just out of your reach. And you're like, I can't scout that guy. We're going in blind. And so there's some stuff like that. And then I like the way the AI works where it's got like, I'm going to go after this first, then this, then this. And then they're all different depending on what token it is. The tokens are down. So like with Reichbusters, I can see what the things are in front of me. With this one, I know there's something there, but it could be something like kind of like a minor inconvenience or something major. So you really don't know until you actually scout it out or you get there if you're stupid and you just run in there, I guess. It's like that kind of is exciting, right? So you've got all these minis and stuff, but you're not just putting them out on the board and you go, okay, because with a lot of these games, you can put out all your minis and you go, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go here. We're going to do this. And then watch out for this room. Oh, we'll avoid this room. You can't really do that with this one. You don't really know. You just know there's vague threats, but you don't know what kind of threat they are.
Right.
And where you want to go and where you don't want to go. Yes, it is co-op.
Did I say anesthetic? Did somebody say anesthetic again? I don't know why I do that. Instead of aesthetic.
Oh, no, he's just saying the aesthetic is not anesthetic school. He's just remembering.
Okay, I was like, what?
Yeah, I think that looks really cool. The different parts of that. And I liked that the characters all have like positive and negative. That's one of my favorite things about playing like Vampire the Masquerade RPG is that you could have like yeah, you can do these things, but these things really jack you up. And these characters are not like necessarily heroes. They're very much like villagers and different things like that. They're not like
I like
all these big mighty heroes, all of them.
Also, Nick says exploration
Yeah.
with resource collection and some combat, which
Yeah.
reminds me of the resource collection.
Yeah,
because
you've got to have wood for fire.
Yeah, you have to collect resources in order to do certain things in this game. Which
or your morale can go down.
again, too, that reminds me a little bit of that Tainted Grail sort
Oh,
of
see,
thing.
that
where
reminds
you
me of
have
Forgotten
sort of that
Waters.
stuff.
When you're playing with
Oh,
Forgotten
yeah.
Waters, you've got your hull that you've got to watch out for, your morale of your crew, food for your crew. And if any of those things slips too far one of the way, like the game ends. So I feel like that's going to be how this one is too, where you're like, okay, well, we have to spend time to go collect this wood. Our morale is going to really go down. Like, what do we do?
Okay, so let's see here. That's why you scout with familiars, says Nick.
Yeah, that's cool too. There's some familiars that run around.
Battlecry says, I
Oh.
like it when they ran out of food and they couldn't use their pets.
Yeah. So here's another thing that's interesting too. The first like half of this is considered like in light. And then once you hit that halfway point in this game,
then
it goes into dark. So it gets like they just, yeah, dusk or dawn. So it's kind of like, you know, the first half is going to be easier and then it's going to go bad. Like just worse. So that's kind of interesting too. You just know it's going to go worse. And you can bring in like characters, new characters in for each game, which is how Reichbusters were. You don't have to play with the same exact characters. You can bring in new characters and stuff if you think they're better combos and whatnot.
Petter says, the good-bad combo drew me into Tainted Grail
Yeah.
as well. And Nick says, cooperative, but later in the game, individual goals for characters can diverge. You can choose not to play semi-co-op at that point, according to the creators.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. They're bringing a lot of really interesting gameplay to this.
And based off of the storytelling and the components of Reichbusters, which is the most recent one, I have to say I was really impressed with Reichbusters and how all that worked out. And this is a theme
It
that I
looks
like.
amazing, yeah.
This is another theme that's like a really big theme for me.
DrGloryhogg really, really likes Viking
When we
themed
talk
things.
about yeah, when we play like Blood Rage and stuff, I get like super into it, and that's really an area control game. This is what I want to be doing though, because it's an exploration narrative game. So it's going to have like that legacy type feeling as you're going through and exploring stuff. That really makes me kind of happy. Like,
So, DrGloryhogg, then, would you back that?
yes.
Oh, dang it.
I want
I
to
knew
back
it.
this. We don't have
knew
Tainted
it.
Grail. I want to back this. This is another
Oh,
dark
shoot.
game. It's another dark game with Vikings that you're going through. You don't know if like even you're going to find the people, and if you do, if they're going to be sane. You can pray to your gods too. There's also religion in this where you can
Yes,
get like favor with your
right.
gods, and they can help you. But you know how gods are. They're really fickle. So sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. I love that. I love fickle gods because
All
that's all we
right.
got.
So, the base price for this is $129. Like, that's it,
But
right?
that's the price.
That's it.
Yeah, there's just one price, which I really like too. Just $130. Now, I don't like $130. I don't like that the shipping's probably like $25, $30. But the fact that it's just $120 and that's it, there's not like a bunch of add-ons and stuff, that's kind of nice.
That's it. That's the game that gets you everything, $129.
Yeah, I
Voila,
like
$129.
that. Yeah. Of course she's unhappy because we backed a lot of other stuff. We backed like Ankh and a bunch of other crazy stuff recently.
Okay, so
She's going to spend $80 on Railroad Inc. So she's not happy about this.
Nathan says, too bad he doesn't control the Kickstarter budget in your household. That's right,
Okay.
Nathan.
Okay. I would honestly, I couldn't, because if I saw how much we spent on Kickstarter, I would probably, I'd
we
start
would not
cutting
be
games.
we would not be doing a Kickstarter show.
Well, I would cut games. I would. I would make hard decisions.
So, Petter, talking about it, probably backing it for sure. Yeah, this is a game that when you see the initial Kickstarter, you're like, wow, this is really pretty. This is cool.
Mhm.
But then the more you dig into it, the more you end up liking it and liking it more and liking it more. And then you're like, dang it,
Yeah.
I like this game.
It's so I will say that there's a lot of times we get these big campaign games and you get like the initial hype and then you kind of get like, as you go further along with it. This one is the opposite. I just got more and more into it. And a lot of times these games,
Oh my
I start
goodness.
off at a very like, how amazing could this be? Because I'm going to compare it to stuff like Seventh Continent, Clank Legacy, these really big kind of overall story games, you know, like Reichbusters, Forgotten Waters, because we've got a lot of those games right now, but those are the ones I'm really enjoying. And so a lot of times I'll pass on them because of it, but I'm like, well, yeah, this seems good.
Seems good? All in?
Yeah.
All
Well,
in.
it's $129. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend $129, but all in is nice, like just $129.
You know what? I like this game. I'm not like the hugest
But
Viking
it's better than
fan,
Western.
but it is better than Western, but it is better than
If
Western.
we get this, I will not buy Western Legend this year.
And I really, what? I'm getting like an ultimatum?
No, I'm saying if we buy this, I will not buy Western Legends this year.
It'll just calm your
Mostly.
your Western needs
No.
for 1 year?
But I'm willing to make that sacrifice for one more year.
Okay. Oh,
Maybe.
The Norse Western.
Maybe.
That's what most Norse stories are. They're like Westerns.
No.
pretty much,
Okay,
I
so
mean.
actually it's the opposite because Norse mythology is all about clans and brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
So the Norse
No solo one.
So the Norse mythology is much more like the military, where Westerns are much more like how space is, where you've got like that one dashing captain who's the hero. That's why space Westerns happen, and then like Norse like kind of clan building stuff kind of happens because they're like themes.
All right, I want to know in our
The same.
comments, are you guys backing this game? I want to know. Like, I really want to back Railroad Inc. but I want to back like the whole thing. So this on top of that, that's like
A
tough.
lot.
That's tough. That's the $200 week, Dr. Gloryhogg.
And then like I know
What the
Nemesis
heck?
is coming like real soon too, which
really want
I've heard
Nemesis
so many good things
too.
about Nemesis.
Oh,
Maybe we could find out if we know somebody who has Nemesis. We can just play it. Is that a
just
thing?
take their copy. Be like, we're gonna borrow this copy, and then
Maybe we can sell something. Does anybody want to buy my Nook Miles
I will
on Animal
make
Crossing?
Chipotle burritos for people, and then we can go ahead and buy the game. How about that?
Yeah, because like Steam Watchers I looked at, which was like the last one they did, and I thought, okay, that looks interesting, but it wasn't
That was
super
more area control.
right. It wasn't super my thing, but this narrative stuff has been really good, and I think it plays really well. I really like Norse mythology.
Ellen says probably
Come on.
not, but I haven't ruled this out. But it's a
Okay.
lean no. I need to know more about how it plays. Games of Fire says I'm not as familiar with Norse mythology. Wow, I can't talk today. As I am Greek and Egyptian.
Yeah, I think Greek and mostly Greek gets pushed more in schools.
Oh,
and stuff.
definitely. Yeah.
But I like all religions. Like the only ones I don't know as much about is probably like the ones like out of India and stuff. Like I know about Ganesh and I know about some of them, but I don't know as much about those.
Nick says
But I would be in for it if someone wants to teach me.
I'm backing HEL. I'm a sucker for story games.
Yeah, you know what? For the longest time, I resisted these types of games
So
because
many
we didn't have the
burritos.
time to play them. But I have to say, the narrative games have been some of my favorite ones recently.
For $129, you know you're going to be getting quality looking miniatures. Like
Yeah.
everything will look really fantastic. That's one thing that they do very well is just the absolute like aesthetic of the game just looks amazing. Like,
Good job.
thank you.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's my after burrito talk, so I'm a little bit kind of tired, but I'm just,
You feel
I'm
tired?
I'm in for HEL.
Your after burrito.
Like, I'm not going to dance around like I did for Steampunk Fusion, which we also backed. But out of the games that we've talked about recently, this is like the only big game that I've been like super excited about.
All right. Next up, we have Ulaya Chronicles. Hopefully, I said that correctly.
No.
This is for 1 to 4 players. Oh, how's it said?
Oh, no one knows.
Oh, okay.
No one can say it.
one to 4 players should last about 60 to 150 minutes. Dr. Gloryhogg, can you tell us a little bit about this game?
This is a game about a person whose ship gets wrecked and they find out they're on an island and they're looking for their captain, but the island's like filled with like Utah raptors and just dinosaurs, period. So like it's kind of like the idea of like if you were like, just cruising around in your ship and you crash on a Jurassic Park.
Like you do.
Casually.
Like you do.
Except this is like the Jurassic Park that didn't have any walls, like Site B, I think it was, like Island Sorna or something like that. It was like the backup site. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right.
The big thing about this one is it's much more, as you can see, it seems like it's much more of a war tactical game. So like, it doesn't seem like it's as much narrative because there's a lot of little pieces here, and the way the board is set up is almost like set up in like perfect little hexes where you're like, here's the river that can only be crossed by X amount of movement. It seems like it's a much more of a, more like a war game.
This is a
Or a
campaign
tactical
style
skirmishy game. Yeah.
And this is a campaign style
It is.
game with it. Yeah. So with this one here, it is with a newer publisher.
But they
or a
have
newer
done,
person, but they have done something else before.
they did another campaign in the same world.
Absolutely.
And that's why they came back with more.
And this was one that Dr. Gloryhogg was like championing for. You were like, we should put this on here.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
It's true.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, anytime you can do, I mean, in this campaign is like cheaper too, right? Isn't it only like 50 or 60?
So you're fighting against the dinosaurs in this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because this one gave you the options for just having standees versus like miniatures. So it goes up with the miniatures, of course. But It was an interesting idea. The overall idea of this game seemed kind of interesting to me, like a campaign game that has like dinosaurs, just kind of a different theme that hasn't been done as much.
48 was the ankle deep.
Okay, that's what it was. So I knew it was like under 50 for the standee version, which I thought was nice. So if you're wanting a campaign game,
standees look nice.
Yeah, and it's for 1 to 4 players. So if you wanted to solo this, you definitely could. It seemed like it's a much more reasonable entry level kind of campaign game.
So is this kind of like
with
a
a cool
dinosaur
backstory.
western?
No, it's not with the westerns. You need to calm down. Because there's like NPCs in there and stuff. It's just kind of an interesting theme that just doesn't get played out as much. Like obviously dinosaurs gets played out a lot, but I can't think of very many like dungeon delvey type of dinosaur games. But this one is, like I said, much more of a tactical skirmish game.
Petter makes a really interesting point here. Can you ride the dinosaurs?
I don't know.
Can you ride them? I need to know that. I don't know. If you can ride it, I mean, that's going to sway me a little bit further toward the game.
I feel like you can ride anything if you're willing to try hard enough. At least once.
At least one time until you squish them and you're like, oops.
Hey, anything. Or it squishes you. At least once. You could ride anything if you try hard enough at least once.
Games of Fire says, I really like the dinosaurs, but my budget is so broken. I have to take a break. Yeah, after this week, we're going to have to tighten up a little bit over here.
So I saw this campaign. I thought it looked interesting. It's a smaller like I said, an easier to get into kind of a skirmishy one. I thought she might be more interested in it because it is more war game-ish, because it is a skirmish game instead of like a completely narrative one. But the more and more I got into HEL, I was just like, I'm going to spend my money on HEL. So,
oh, no.
But it's still interesting, so I still wanted to bring it up because it does look like it's a cool game.
Absolutely. So Fatal says, I want to back this one a lot, but it's a bit too rich for my blood. The all-in, which is what I know my son would want, that's totally legit, because who doesn't want like crazy dinosaur minis and stuff like that, right?
I was super excited about the dinosaur minis and stuff, and I realized, you got to pay a lot more for that, but that's fair.
A Perseverance Castaway Chronicles, you can ride dinosaur, says Mepper. That's fantastic. Okay. And Alan says, did you see the dodos riding the dinos game? I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a weird concept game. I wasn't sure how I felt about that one, to be honest with you.
Cowboys riding dinos rather than horses. See, Games of Fire, that is exactly what I'm talking about. I would be on board with that.
These dinos. These dinos are like your main adversaries.
Right, but I'm just saying I would be on board with that particular theme of like a dinosaur western.
So that's all it takes is dinosaurs?
Well, yeah, because if I can ride on top of a dinosaur and be like, all right, let's go get them, boys.
I read like a really weird like fantasy book that had like dinosaurs that they rode, but like also had like a bunch of magic and like swords and knights, but on dinosaurs. I'm trying to think of what it was called. It was really kind of weird. So
I feel like dinosaurs in a western would really fit. Not dinosaurs in
medieval.
Medieval, no,
it's
not
the same idea though. It's a knight versus cowboy.
Not the same. It's not the same. You don't want to joust on a dino. No.
Why not?
No.
You're telling me you wouldn't get on one of those ones that bash heads?
No, you want to ride around.
That would be great to ride on that bad boy and be like, skapoo, and it's like, bam.
You want to ride around and take out a train with like a T-Rex or something. That'd be the best. Because you're trying to rob the train,
if you lived in a world with T-Rexes, your trains would have to be dramatically different. Like, they couldn't just be a normal train. Because you would just be like, this isn't going to survive.
All right, I'm going to have to say, out of all the ones that we've talked about this week, I'm having a hard time committing to all of these games.
No, that's fair. This is one that I said this was interesting. I wanted to definitely bring it up and talk about it.
Absolutely. Make people aware of it.
If I'm going all in on HEL, and really HEL really sold me with the way Reich Busters was put together.
Because there's
that really helped out.
A lot of skirmish campaign-based dinosaur games.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is interesting. It's an interesting theme, putting all of it together. And I do like skirmish games. But
I know. That's what I was really thinking. I was like, man, this is a skirmish game. I know you like dinosaurs.
I'm all in on Railroad Inc. Dr. Gloryhogg.
It does come actually with a one-shot RPG that comes with the game if you back it.
What's your number one?
Oh, my number one is HEL. For sure. It's HEL.
Viewers, what's your number one for the week? I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're backing something, what are you backing? And like, gosh, there's just so much. I don't know. I think maybe I can convince like someone to give me birthday money for Nemesis or something.
Here's the problem is I went into this week thinking, okay, I'm going to spend like $20-$40 on
Railroad Inc.
Railroad Inc. Yeah. And then maybe we're going to back something big and everything. And then Railroad Inc. just like sideswiped me right out of the gate. And I was like, well, crap. Now what do I do? Now what do I
Railroad
do?
Inc. is like, so she was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I don't know, and everything. I'm like, that seems like a lot of money. But then I was just got to the point where I was like, you know what? You don't usually get this hyped about something like this, and I know it's one of her favorite, like it's one of your favorite rolling rights. So I was like, why not? Just go for it this time. It's your birthday, which is
Aw,
in January, so that's a
yeah.
really early birthday gift. Yikes.
So Games of Fire says it's always just so hard to narrow it down to just one. I absolutely agree, Games of Fire. Some
Hey,
weeks
Pitchstorm is a good game.
it's just rough. Okay.
I think that they were saying that it was being broadcast out as like Pitchstorm or something like that. That's
Which
what it was.
one?
This broadcast.
Oh, was it really?
Something said Pitchstorm somewhere in there.
Oh my
There's so
gosh.
many different things because like I have to set it up as an event on Facebook. I have to set it up in YouTube plus the streaming thing. So somewhere in there it got mixed
We'll
up.
have to look that up.
It should be
after
good
the stream.
on YouTube itself,
Mhm.
but a link might have popped up weird.
Okay.
I'll look at it.
What else? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I
When you broadcast it, probably did the wrong thing.
probably did the wrong link because we had to reset for
We've
today.
done it before.
Yeah.
It's fine. So can I talk about this real quick?
Hold on. Okay, so Nathan says my number one, just throwing my money at Big Boof. Yes. Throw your money at Big Boof, Nathan.
This is why Big Boof was alerted. We just got in 7th continent.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we'll be playing this.
This is the one that's going to be coming out for retail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
retail
so
one.
you can actually get this one, everyone. So this is not one that you can't get.
I'm sorry, that reminds me of something. HEL is Kickstarter exclusive.
Ooh,
HEL will not
okay,
be in
okay.
retail, it says.
Okay.
So I'm not, just so you know, HEL says it will not be in retail. It is a Kickstarter exclusive game.
But
yeah, this is what came in. So like I went out there and I saw that it was from Quartermasters.
Fatal says, ooh, was ist das?
So I was like, oh, look, I'm like, oh, my Quartermaster Logistics. I like cut it open real quick and I was like, oh, this is 7th continent. So yeah, we're going to be playing this one, the retail version, so that everybody can see what it's like.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because, this was a hard to get game. And I'm kind of glad
Yeah.
that they're making a retail version of this. So everybody has access to it. And you're not like on the black board game market selling
Yeah,
kidneys
'cause
to get a game.
Yeah. Yeah, because it
Because
gets difficult for
sometimes
sure.
people.
Oh, you got everything for 7th continent? Nice. We missed it the whole
very
first,
nice.
I think the whole first 2 printings we missed or something like that.
Yeah, we ended up missing this particular one. I'm trying to remember why. There was, again, it was between one big box game against another big box game, and
Probably.
we ended up getting the other one because we didn't have the original, I think is what it was. So, because we didn't hit it on the original, we hit it on the second time around.
Right, so we probably passed. Plus, at that time, it was over a year ago. I was probably still in school, so I was very negative on anything that was going to take over an hour.
That's right.
Because we
so-
just didn't have time to play them.
Yeah, so Fatal says, I dig the smaller boxes. Those 2 boxes get heavy once you add everything.
Yes.
I totally agree.
You can't back this cat. She is not for sale.
Oh, my cat is now interested in your cat on camera. Hashtag free Greg. Hopefully soon we'll be able to free Greg. We'll see. Greg has been an elusive beast.
It is not a big cat. It's actually a pretty small cat. She's just very long.
Yeah, she's tiny. She's kitten size still. Like
She's just long.
She's just a tiny long cat.
Oh,
Okay.
so much hair.
All right. What else do we have coming up this week?
So our Sunday game is It's a Wonderful World.
Okay, It's a Wonderful World on Sunday.
And we don't have, well, on Sunday, hopefully I'll have ideas of
And
what
then
we're
we
going to
should
do for the
have
next ones.
whatever else, we're going to go ahead and do that. And hashtag trees must die. That's right. Bringing back all the hashtags.
True. I miss the hashtags.
You miss
Hashtag
them.
cookies for friends. Hashtag I love hashtags. Hashtag Justin Bieber.
What was the other one?
Hashtag,
Hashtag wingspan humble brags.
That was, yep. That's another one.
Wingspan humble brags. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in chat today. We really appreciate you being here and making our Kickstarter show great. We super enjoy chatting to you or with you. And let us know in the comments. I know
Yeah.
some of you already said that some of the Kickstarters that you were going to be backing, but go ahead and let us know in the comments as well down at the bottom.
Yeah,
once
if you end up going all in on Railroad Inc., I'd like to know. I'm going to put you on a special list.
a special list. We need to know. We like to know what everybody's backing and then what we should be playing whenever it comes in. It'd be super
True.
fun.
That's true.
And I'm excited for It's a Wonderful World. So, and stay tuned for Seventh Continent as well. So
Yeah,
we're
we'll
going
have
to
to
be playing
plan out that.
It's just going to be fantastic. Other than that, we will see all of you Sunday. Bye.